Welcome and thanks for joining us for the celebration of great places in Fort Collins. And this is the second biennial Fort Collins Urban Designs Awards. First ones were great, and looking through this, the second ones are even greater. It just gets better. These awards were created to raise public and private awareness of the importance of urban design and its role in maintaining the quality and enhancing the quality of our community. And we want to recognize individual practitioners, owners, organizations, public agencies, firms, and projects that contribute to the great quality of life that we have in Fort Collins. I'd like to recognize two people, Jeff Scheich and Joe Frank, if you'd stand up for a second. Just recognize them. Jeff is the PDT, which is Planning, Development, and Training Director, and Joe is head of our advanced planning. And I wanted to recognize them and their staff's works for putting together the awards tonight. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce our city manager, Darren Atterbury.
Well, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me back there? Okay. Wow, what a great turnout. It's a little intimidating to be here in this room, such a small room with so many people. But I have the task of, really good task of talking a little bit about urban design. And again, I'm intimidated because I'm seeing so many of you, you're urban design professionals. And I happen to be with all due respect to my colleagues in the planning department, a reformed city planner. Sorry, Joe, just kidding. My background is in city planning and civil engineering, and so as a little kid growing up in the Bay Area and having an uncle who was a city planning director that brought me to San Francisco all the time to show me how big cities operate, and really having an appreciation for urban design. And when I was a little guy, I thought it was all about architecture and the San Francisco Pyramid and the different, the Golden Gate Bridge and things like that. And I quickly was taught that it was much more than that. It's about, and at the graduate level, it's about how spaces, how you take architecture and spaces and even different environments and blend those together to make really an urban sort of fabric. And although this is Urban Design Awards, we're going to be talking a lot tonight, recognizing some great projects for architecture and for sustainability, economic, social, and financial, and those sorts of things. So, again, this is not only about architecture, it's about how we make this place in the built environment or through planning efforts, how we make this place just an incredibly wonderful place. And that brought all of us here to either live and raise our families, to go to college, to maybe change some things in our lives and to start over and do different things like that. But tonight is really about celebrating what a great place we have, and to recognize those of you who have really upped the game in this community. And so on behalf of the mayor and the council and the city staff that have worked with you in partnership, we are really pleased to be here, and we are so thankful for your commitment to Fort Collins. And what's really neat, I look around the room and I just think about, this place is as good as it is because of the partnerships, and tonight we get to just celebrate some of those. So let me just tell you a little bit about how the winners were selected and the number of applicants and so forth. We solicited through the Advanced Planning Department applicants for these awards, and we received 32 applicants, and we'll be going through the winners of those, but we had a tough job as a selection panel. We didn't get to present 32 awards. We only got to present a limited number, but the criteria were that the project's within the city limits, that the project was completed or the plan was completed within the last 5 years, that the project best illustrates the qualities of one or more of the award categories, which is design plan, architecture, urban fragment, civic improvement, green design, and then also Jeff is going to come up at the end and recognize what we call a Hall of Fame recipient, which is an extra special award as well. I get to all of us get to recognize something kind of neat this evening, and that is that this is our first year for student awards at Colorado State, or for that matter, Front Range Community College, but a student award within this community. So that's really exciting. Part of the award to say thank you to you, and also it's to advocate. It's to show that great projects in Fort Collins are very successful, and we hope that the work that you've done will just elevate the game in this community, and we think it will. And by showing off your projects, we're going to promote those projects as much as we can. We think it's going to make even better results for this community in the future, in our future. Okay, so the judges, the jury that spent time reviewing each of these projects, and if you're here, if you wouldn't mind just raising your hand so folks can at the end say thanks for the work. Well, I'm not there yet. Hold on a second. Joe, why don't you just stand up and write? No, I'm just kidding. Glenn Colton from the Natural Resources Board. I didn't see Glenn. Are you here, Glenn? Okay. Aaron Russell from the Landmark Preservation Commission. Aaron's back there. Thank you, Aaron. Ruth Rollins of the Planning and Zoning Board. There's Ruth. Thanks. Sorry, that was my bad, not yours. Brad Getz, a professor at CSU in landscape. Brad's way back in the back. Thanks, Brad. Susan Krull Frosset. And Susan is a local architect. Is she here, Becca? Have you seen her? Okay. And then our own advanced planning director, Joe Frank. Joe, would you stand up? Just kidding. Joe's here. And then I got a chance to participate on the jury as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ann Aspen and Ann. Oh, there you are. And we'll go ahead and present the first award. So thank you very much for everyone for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug and Darren, and good evening to everyone. Our first category is design plan. This category is for a plan or study that provides a development or redevelopment strategy in the mid to long term. This year's winning projects in this category show us the importance of effective collaboration and teamwork in creating the wonderful spaces that enrich our community. Our first award this evening goes to a project that's emerging on Harmony Corridor as we speak, the Pads at Harmony. The site was tough. It's long and narrow, and yet it had to meet the vision of the Harmony Corridor, which included street-fronting buildings and a wide, naturalistic landscaped setback. The neighbors include an existing residential mobile home park to the north, Front Range Village to the east, and the Harmony School shops to the west, all of which needed cross-access through the site. True to his Italian heritage, local developer Gino Campana of Bellissimo with partner J.D. Padilla of Postmodern Development had a vision for a piazza-focused marketplace, a market where people can gather and socialize as well as work, shop, and eat. With a strong identity anchored with an urban edge in a suburban typology, he assembled 4 different architectural firms to design the multiple buildings at the site. The collaboration resulted in 8 buildings, all of which partake in the overarching design concept and while maintaining their own identity. The interaction between the building creates places where people will be drawn to gather for lively interaction and to take in the exhilarating views. The building entries are all located on the east and west sides of the building, off carefully designed plazas and patios. These side entries entice patrons to transition from driving to dining or shopping through richly textured piazzas, which boast fire pits, interactive water features, native plantings, meandering walkways, and local artwork. All trees on the site were transplanted from somewhere else on the site. A roundabout organizes the vehicular traffic to and from the residences to the north and to and from the shopping centers on either side in a manner that adds civic elegance to the project. Boulders from Idaho Springs were used to create the water features, and local Masonville stone is used in the building facades. Local artist Steve Scheckman created one-of-a-kind Core 10 light fixtures with mica accents for softened light to shine through. The project is in the process of applying for LEED certification, and it was also nominated for and will receive another award in the architecture category this evening. The project's motto is 7 buildings, 1 development, a team effort that won't go unnoticed. Hey Gino, on behalf of the City of Fort Collins, we noticed. Great job. Gino will accept the award this evening.
So, our city manager clued me into the rules of the game here about 5 minutes ago that I get 1 minute to accept this. And I spent the last hour working on this. So my intentions were to personally thank everyone who was on the team, both from city staff all the way through our personal staff. Everyone contributed. It's certainly not one effort. Anytime you can put together a project that is that difficult to wedge into the site we did, it's obvious it took a great team. So thanks from advanced planning through planning, Michael, Stantec, and all the architectural firms, Scott, and your team's effort out there. Amy probably should be up here with us because it was her ability to put together photos in a unique manner to illustrate our vision to planning and zoning. So thanks for your effort, Amy. Thanks again. Thank you.
It's doubly impressive that the Paza Harmony won a design plan award when you consider that our next award winner is likely the farthest reaching, most comprehensive project our community has ever seen. The Mason Corridor includes a new bike and pedestrian trail as well as a future bus rapid transit system in a fixed guideway for a majority of the 5-mile corridor. The BRT service, which will be known locally as MAX, will operate nearly twice as fast as auto travel along College Avenue, as well as provide high-frequency service and buses arriving every 10 minutes. Stations will incorporate new high-quality amenities that are similar to light rail, with level boarding platforms, sleek new buses which run on alternate energy sources, next bus arrival LED boards, and prepay fare machines. The Mason Corridor Plan is truly a legacy project for our community. It will impact our community's transportation modes, lightening the volume on College Avenue and providing multimodal alternatives. It will impact our land use patterns by encouraging and focusing redevelopment and infill along a north-south spine in the center of town, and it will enhance our access to downtown and points beyond. It will also go a long way towards achieving the city's goal of high sustainability by reducing our carbon footprint. Design consultant EDAW was chosen to prepare all station and urban design work on the corridor. This work includes trail design and designs for the stations, each of which will serve as an educational opportunity. Artful displays on, for example, stormwater quality, pollination, habitat, urban heat island reduction, or air quality improvements will engage riders on their commute. This will be done with an emphasis on resource efficiency. The BRT buses will use hybrid technology, planting will be xeric, construction will prioritize local and/or recycled materials, and energy systems will capture solar and wind energy for power. Cultural and art in public places installations will illustrate these connections between green, high-tech, and the culture and landscape around us. This project continues tonight's theme of collaboration and teamwork, too. This project represents an enormous collaboration of close to 100 people, including engineers, artists, city staff from a multitude of departments, all contributing their expertise to make this complex project come to life. We've already started to see the results of their work on the pedestrian and bike trail, and soon we'll start to see stations sprouting in what will surely be a fruitful project for the city in many ways. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on this collaborative effort. We can hardly wait to see the MAX roll through your stations. Brad Smith of EDAW will accept the award this evening.
Thank you very much, and I've got to thank Ann for thanking the hundreds of people that are really behind this project, because I didn't know how I'd cover it all. It's just been our pleasure to have an opportunity to be a part of such a significant project. and we can't wait to see it go forward. Thank you very much.
The competition in the architecture category was rather stiff this year. There were 12 excellent nominations from all around our community, proving that great design is a community-wide value. Our first award goes to the 30,000 square foot headquarters of In Situ, a local company which develops and markets water quality monitoring devices. This building houses their R&D and some light manufacturing functions. Their goal was to create a lasting impression in clients and to provide a casual yet productive work environment. The architect explored contrasts in his design for the space. The mass of the building is really just a simple box, but it is opened up with brilliantly designed stained Osage wood structures with deep green roofs which overhang and frame large clear-story windows. A deck and patio facing the river provide an attractive, relaxing area for visitors and employees. A meandering stream water feature flows through the lobby, illustrating In Situ's corporate focus on water and tying the building interiors to the native river landscape. Daylight drives deep into the offices and provides ample views of the river corridor. The architecture echoes the rhythm of Front Range landforms and elevates what might otherwise be a stark semi-industrial building into an exemplar of modern architecture inspired by its natural environment and context. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations for capturing the spirit of Fort Collins in a beautiful and timeless building. Joe Fry of Vought Fry will accept the award this evening.
This is one of those dream projects driven by a very forward-thinking corporation that came to our town and brought a lot of jobs and a lot of vision. And Craig is, all we did was follow what he wanted us to do. So all the credit goes to him.
Yeah, it was wonderful to be part of the vision for the city. Really excellent to be participate in such a forward-thinking city, and that was one of the reasons we came to Fort Collins, is just to focus on the natural areas, the pathways, the pedestrians, the bike trails. That was a really exciting part of the city for us. And I guess one of the benefits of having such a nice and casual design is we do get all kinds of people coming in, commenting, and even some people asking, where's the glass of beer for the beer tasting? Which is, well, that's a good area, so you got to expect that. But it was great to be part of that, and thanks a lot to the city for their hard work, and to Joe's group and VF Ripley also to their land planning. Thank you very much.
You know, that is a good way to improve the water quality. You've already seen the Pads at Harmony once this evening, and it was in the design plan category, and here it is again. The jury was impressed with architecture firm Allerlingel's submission of buildings 2, 5, and 6. As mentioned earlier, the Pads at Harmony started with Bellissimo's guiding vision for the project. 4 architects collaborated and interacted with Bellissimo within this framework to create a unified overall look for the project, while still giving each building uniquely designed spaces and facades. Buildings 2, 5, and 6 showcase the interplay of rhythm and proportion, with solid corner masses balanced with delicate metalwork, windows, and weightless arched trusses. These buildings fit beautifully with their neighbors at the Pads at Harmony, all of which are truly 4-sided buildings. The jury complimented the barrel vaults throughout the project. You'll note that no HVAC penetrates through the roof forms, which is part of the overall design approach for the site. It's a difficult challenge, but it pays big dividends for the lovely aesthetics of the project. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, for resolving these many design challenges so elegantly, congratulations on a job very well done. Ian Schuff will be accepting the award this evening.
I want to thank everyone. Really appreciate getting this award and being recognized. But I want to also be clear that we did just do 3 buildings out of the 7 there, so I do want to give credit to the whole team because it really was a team atmosphere. First, I want to thank JD Padilla and Bellissimo for letting us be a part of their team. It's a great project. Also want to acknowledge Scott Parks for doing a great job out there getting them built and doing a lot of good work, and Sarah in the office, Sarah Holcomb, and also Amy Johnson for all her great creativity and design work. I really appreciate it. I also want to acknowledge the other architects, Mike Rush, Angie Aguilera, and Joe Hosek, who also did other great buildings out there as well. And it really was a great team effort, great design collaborative. So thank you all.
Our next award goes to the Lofts at Magnolia, which represent the next generation of downtown living and working spaces we saw the germination of in the first annual Urban Design Awards. The Lofts at Magnolia contain 40,000 square feet of mixed-use space, including professional office space, residential units, and enclosed parking. The design is brick and sandstone, simple yet contemporary, understated, and very context-sensitive. It's an especially good next-door neighbor to the Edwards House to the west. The residences are organized around an internal courtyard imbued with inviting pools of natural daylight. The courtyard has become a great gathering place for the residents. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations for this elegant addition to the fabric of downtown. Justin Larson will accept the award this evening.
Thank you. It's quite an honor. It's a great group of people that are up here tonight, so we're very flattered to be part of it. I want to first thank our, well, truly right from the outset, City of Fort Collins for really believing in this project from the outset, as well as the development company, Alan Strope and Urban Living Concepts, that really backed our design vision from the very start. And then KLNA, who's sitting here, and I was hoping their structural engineer, our SRB was mechanical engineering, and Brinkman Partners were the builder. And all of us as a team really brought this project from paper all the way through to vision, just as it was planned, and it was really very flattering. So thank you all.
The Urban Fragments category is for a small-scale piece of a landscape or building that significantly contributes to the quality of the public realm. Fort Collins Police Services is committed to building strong relationships with the community, and the artwork was designed to support this approach. Artist Andy Dufford of Chevo Studios worked with facility staff, the architecture team, and general contractor throughout all phases of the design and construction. The heart of the project is a series of hand-carved stone fountains that establish an arrival sequence and destination for visitors to the facility. Relief carvings on the columns adjacent to the plaza welcome visitors and highlight themes of police work: justice, community, science, and people. The main walk, plaza, and building lobby form a continuous space separated by a glass curtain wall. The curving line of granite cobble connects 3 outdoor fountains, extending beneath the glass wall to link with a 4th fountain in the lobby. This layout reinforces the spatial unity between the outside and inside and symbolizes the link with the wider community and the police force. The interior fountain fills the space with the sound of flowing water and provides a calming sensory experience for visitors. Often when people come to a police station, they're nervous or anxious. The fountain provides a soothing and respectful counterpoint to soothe the nerves. The fountain is also inscribed with the names of officers that have fallen in the line of duty. 2 large murals reflecting the police department's history act as a police museum incorporated into the main entry space. One mural depicts officers from different decades. The opposite wall has a sculptural collage which provides a series of images and text that shows the dynamic history of the force. In the short time the facility has been open, the plaza and lobby have become a part of the everyday routines of the police facility, fostering a positive pattern of interaction between staff and visitors, and supporting the goals and function of this site. The result of this exemplary collaboration is a welcoming environment that provides a peaceful meeting point for the community and police. The work also serves as a place of respect and remembrance for officers killed in the line of duty and for victims of violent crimes. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on adding such a meaningful dimension to the police services facility through art. Andy Dufford will be accepting the award this evening.
As some of the other recipients have said, it's a great honor to be in this kind of company. And all of us here know that a great project really begins with a great client. And that's what happened for me. Dennis Harrison, who's the chief of police, has a vision that the more connected you are to the community, the less police work you have to do. So Dennis and Tom McClellan, who's a detective, and Rita Davis, who's the chief's assistant, you know, they ask for something with soul, and therefore I could give it to them. The other thing that made this project happen is the Art in Public Places program here in Fort Collins. I work all over the nation, and I have to say, Fort Collins has the best program I've ever worked with. And the reason it's so good is because they get the artists involved very early so that we can participate on the design team, and our contributions are not just added on later. The third piece of this thing is the construction team. And you know, if you tell a general contractor that you'd like to cut a great big hole in a lobby floor that he's already poured, he's likely to have you arrested. Neen & Company didn't do that. They said yes, and at every step, they were willing to go that extra mile to make this project happen. Also, Ron Kechter, who was the project manager for the city, at every turn was willing to facilitate those kinds of difficult integration issues. So many thanks to my team. Ellen Martin's here, who runs Art in Public Places. Ron is here, and I don't know if anybody from the Neen & Company is here, but that made it happen. Thank you so much.
Artists Carolyn Broxma and Barb McKee created an Art in Public Places piece called Vivarium Subterraneum at the Taft Hill Road underpass of the Spring Creek Trail that shows the complex ecosystem that you might discover. This usually hidden community includes roots and stems of our native grasses, wildflowers, and trees, as well as their inhabitants, the caterpillars, beetles, grasshoppers, snails, and bees. All of this was meticulously sculpted or carved into clay, then transformed into wall-sized elastomeric formliners, and finally attached to the gang forms for the walls before the concrete was poured to create the underpass. The images are an integral part of the wall, though for structural purposes the art resides in just the top 2 inches of the surface of the walls. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on encouraging us to rediscover our connections to the natural surroundings through art. Carolyn Broxma will accept the award this evening.
I have pretty much the same thing to say that everybody else has said before me, that I'm in pretty good company and it's very humbling. And also that if we didn't have Ellen Martin to coordinate these projects, we wouldn't have these projects for the Art in Public Places. I also have thanks to Barb McKee for helping conceive the idea, and I brought somebody with me, the tall kid with the red hair, who was our major carver on this project. And so if we're milling around later, you can talk to him about it. Thank you.
Muggs coffee shop owners McCabe Callahan and Charlie Clifford wanted to create a patio enclosure at the Armstrong Hotel location that would be different than the ubiquitous black iron fences prevalent in downtown. They wanted the feel of being surrounded by a unique design that would imitate the artistry within the coffee shop. Inspired by this photo they took of branches in winter, McCabe and Charlie worked with metalsmith Reuben Creston on the design. The design evolved into an intricate vine pattern, and the result is this extraordinary art piece. RC Metal Custom Design fabricated the metal fence pieces. The jury was impressed by this very small-scale wonder of civic art. They selected it for an award because they recognized that these small business owners were not required to create such a wonderful seating enclosure, but they did, and it adds so much to that space and downtown in general. The jury hopes that this award-winning enclosure will encourage others in the community to be as creative. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on going way above and beyond. It was worth it. McCabe Callahan will accept the award this evening. No, McCabe? Okay, well, we'll make sure he gets his award. Then we'll move on. We'd actually like to take a pause for a moment here before we get to this year's Civic Improvement Awards to remember a special member of the design community who passed away this last year. Lucas Oldenburg was born and raised in Rochester, Minnesota. He graduated from North Dakota State College in Fargo, and after spending every Christmas break and every spring break in the Colorado mountains skiing and snowboarding, he moved to Fort Collins in March of 2000 and took work with BHA Design, where he was a landscape architect for nearly 8 years. On December 10th, 2007, at age 31 years old, Luke died from injuries suffered in a December 2nd avalanche near Hot Dog Bowl above Zimmerman Lake near Cameron Pass. It was at least the third avalanche Oldenburg had been in or near. He survived 2 previous slides near Loveland Pass and Berthoud Pass. Luke was involved in several notable landscape design projects located in Fort Collins, including Solix, the Oak Ridge Senior Campus, the Redstone Medical Office Building, New Belgium Brewery, and numerous projects in Loveland, Wyoming, and the Denver metro area. Oldenburg was a key member of the team that worked on the master plan for Poudre Valley Health System's Harmony Campus, and most recently he worked to help finish Spring Canyon Community Park, our next award winner. Bruce Hendy, owner of BHA Design, said one of his strengths is that he was very good at following through on the details. He was interested in the environment, and he cared deeply and passionately about his work, and it showed in everything he did. His family says they hope people will remember Luke when they see the landscapes he designed. Anyone who knew Luke knew that he took risks in life. He snowboarded in the remote Colorado backcountry, skydived, backpacked, and climbed 14ers. He said it was the only way to face his fears and live life to the fullest. He was affectionately known as Milhouse, a character on The Simpsons, because of the really thick lenses he had in his glasses, though he often wore contacts. In Luke's memory, his family established the Milhouse Memorial, a run that is part of the Colorado Marathon. The proceeds of the memorial run will be donated to the Breckenridge Outdoor Education Center, which empowers people of all abilities through high-quality outdoor experiences. You may go to the website if you would like to have more information. Once Luke said, "I'll do a lot of crazy stuff, even though there are large risks involved, just to get more out of life." His spirit certainly lives in this room tonight, as each of the projects we honor this evening represents major risks taken for the benefit of a better life in this community. So in that spirit, we say, live life like Luke. And now, our Civic Improvement Awards. These awards are presented for built projects initiated and implemented by a community-based organization that enhances the public realm. Winners include projects with streetscapes, public art, parks, public spaces, and infrastructure. The primary goal for the design of Spring Canyon Community Park, a 100-acre park, was to integrate it within its natural surroundings in the foothills on the one side and with its neighborhood setting on the other. The design preserved mature stands of cottonwoods along Spring Creek, enhanced the Spring Creek channel, created topographic landforms that mimic the adjacent foothills, and used rustic, natural, and recycled building materials whenever possible to create a park that has more open, unprogrammed green space than any other park in Fort Collins. What was once a city-owned hay field, flat, by the way, was originally intended to be a youth sports park with several lit playing fields, but the neighborhood wanted nothing to do with that. After working to understand the needs of the neighborhood and community, the city opted to create a more open park that blended into and extended the foothills topography and character. The neighborhood provided valuable insights which positively impacted the design of the park. The park was re-envisioned to be more open and natural, with the look of a national park, with picnic structures made of canted, rusted steel canopies over heavy timber frames. Programmed elements were adapted to meet needs that are not provided elsewhere in the community. The design team and neighbors all felt the result was better from their collaboration than it was to begin with. Shane's Inspiration Playground, Colorado's first universally accessible playground, has become the most publicized component of this project, and rightly so. The idea of this inclusive playground captured the intention of Colorado Eagles Hockey Foundation, who, along with ACT, All Children Together, the city, the Colorado Lottery, GOCO, and many local businesses and community members provided major funding for it to happen. By next year, the Fossil Creek Trail and Spring Creek Trail will be joined together here in the park, thus closing the western loop of the city's spectacular bike system. And what a gorgeous place for a crossroads. And there's a special and unusual treat in store for adventurous bikers who arrive at the site, our first community mountain bike skills course. The art and public places elements of the park include the seed pods, etched tiles, the eagle shelter, and mountain lions carved from the trunks of existing cottonwoods on site. The plantings are all irrigated with raw water. A regional detention pond and diversion structure are seamlessly woven into the plan of the park. An entry bridge crosses the diversion structure of the regional detention pond, and the bike skills course gets its slope from the side of the detention pond. Mostly native grasses delineate the open spaces and form pockets in the park that give it a similar appearance to the Pine Ridge Natural Area. Like many others this evening, this project represents a huge collaborative effort. Numerous investments of funding and design gelled to form a united, cohesive vision. Just designing the park was a community building event, and the positive results of that effort are imbued in the physical elements of the park to inspire future community makers. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations to every member on the extensive team that pulled together and joined creative forces to make this stellar project a reality. Roger Sherman and Kathleen Benedict will be accepting the award this evening.
First of all, I'd just like to thank the city. This is a special thing that you guys do that a lot of cities don't do, and it's I don't get to see a lot of you ever, and so it's nice to see everybody in the same room and to celebrate together. What a great city this is turning into because of all the work we do together as a group. So thank you very much for putting this together, Ann, and everyone else involved. Like Ann said, there are so many people that were involved in this, from the grassroots kind of effort of the community surrounding the park to people who got involved in and got behind the Shane's Inspiration Playground. It couldn't have happened without really some huge efforts on their parts. So Kathleen will kind of mention them by name personally, but the design team included BHA Design, and I want to give special mention and recognition to Russ Lee, who worked his tail off on this. Mundus Bishop Design Group out of Denver were our partnering firm, collaborator with us, and they added another great layer of thinking to this. And then Oz Architecture, you saw the fantastic structures that they showed pictures of, and it just all came together so great, and so I'm so proud to be part of it, and I have worked with the City of Fort Collins Parks Department too. They were so flexible in working with the community, and there were a lot of things you wouldn't normally see happen in a community park that happened because of the influence of the people around this park. So thank you for all you did to make this a fun project for us.
I need my list back. Okay. I get to mention the names of the people that weren't with BHA that also worked on the park. So let me get to the right. Okay, this is the list of everybody. Shane's Inspiration, they designed the playground. That was Virginia Hatley. They're actually in Los Angeles, so they couldn't be here today. ACT, All Children Together. It was a committee of community volunteers. Sorry, I have bronchitis, so I don't sound so good either. But thanks, Roger. Go over there. Some of the major donors to the playground, Colorado Lottery and GOCO, and the Colorado Eagles Foundation. And then Art in Public Places, Alan Martin, who you've already heard about, and all the artists that were earlier listed on the screen there. The International Mountain Biking Association that designed the bike trials course. Fort Collins Stormwater Department for the Regional Detention Pond. And then last but not least, Environmental Concerns, Inc., our contractor that built it. Thanks.
The Oak Street Plaza Park wins our second Civic Improvement Award this evening. The jury was delighted to honor this great urban space which supports our downtown. The plaza's new design is divided into grid patterns that reflect the historic street plans, Within this framework are numerous delights, including special glass top-seated paving, which sparkles, a twinkling light canopy, and landscaping. Colorful tables and chairs add to the social atmosphere of the place. On any given day when the weather is warm, there are hosts of kids laughing and running through the timed water jets, a part of an Art in Public Places sculpture by artist Lawrence Argent. He subtly interrupts the grid field with undulating granite sculptures, which reflect a discourse that what is above is somehow connected to below. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on recreating our downtown living space into a nook of wonder and delight. Craig Kissling will be accepting the award this evening.
Wow, I didn't realize one of my old instructors was actually going to be here that actually taught urban design. So I guess I paid attention during class and didn't fall asleep. Yeah, I just want to give thanks to the team members that were on this. Obviously, without them, we couldn't have pulled this project off. Bruce Hendy, excuse me, helped with some of the initial concept designs on that. Sean Mosgrip with Our Lingle helped with a lot of the architecture on the features that you see in the park. Special thanks to the DDA who provided funding for the site or for the project. Without them, we couldn't have pulled off this project because the funding was pretty limited. So, and thanks to Ellen Martin and the team that she had, and Lawrence Argent that did the artwork. Thank you.
And while we're still on the civic improvement category, I'd like to point out that tonight's venue, and the Children's Garden in particular, where we'll enjoy refreshments and mingling among the plants and sculptures in just a little while, was last year's winner in this category. The Children's Garden, designed by EDA, hosts school tours in the spring and fall. Children explore the secret garden, create artwork under the living shelter, play in the pond, pump water and use it to water plants, and get their hands dirty. In addition to tours, several programs, including Read and Seed, Garden Journeys, and some kids' summer camp programs, take place right here. Community members are invited to rent the Children's Garden for birthday parties and other special events. Of special note, artist and current award winner Andy Dufford of Chevo Studios worked with the project team to create this interactive water feature outside entitled Flow. The next major project on the garden's drawing board is the Garden of Eaton, designed by Friends of the Garden board member Sally Guthart of Earthborn Landscape Design. This garden has an orchard, perennial and annual vegetable beds, small fruits, herbs, and a pollinator garden. At-risk youth groups will be helping to plant and maintain the garden, and the Larimer County Health District and Cooperative Extension will help teach the community about nutritious diets and food preservation. And most of the produce grown will be donated to the food bank of Larimer County to help serve their clients delicious and nutritious foods. Let's take a moment to thank the gardens for hosting our event this evening. Next, Student Project is a new category to the Urban Design Awards this year. We were excited to see what student projects would be submitted for consideration. Much to the jury's delight, 5 projects were submitted. 3 projects are landscape design plans for a studio that focused on the old pickle factory site on Riverside between LeMay and Mulberry. 2 projects are site plans done in a studio class that focused on the Fort Collins Visitor Center site. As you can see, or as you will see in a moment, the plans are creative, inventive, and responsive to the history, landscapes, and landforms of our community. Nick Acito's design for the Colorado Visitor Center draws visitors out of their cars and connects them with the landscape and time through a 2,000-foot-long rammed earth wall, which frames, enhances, and excludes particular views in and out of the site. 8-foot-tall white marble cairns dot the land, and a geologic time wall lays out the history of time with notches every 6 inches to represent 2 million years in Earth history. Carissa DeMoore's Rattler Park is named for the trains rattling through the old pickle factory site. It features a graffiti park and a native grass habitat. Tina Moore's Clarion Park design inspiration was the railroad grid and a radial pattern representing the rays of Colorado's abundant sunshine. The plantings she proposes bring the scent of fruit trees and the color of bright sunflowers to reawaken our awareness of the river. Jardín de Baranda de Rio, or River Rail Garden, overlaps grass-strip fields and boardwalks which lead to the river. In Monica's design, the railroad has been relocated underground. An allée of solar panels provides all necessary on-site power, and a wetland has been created to harvest water. The main draw of Adam Schrammek's design is a massive observation tower visible from the interstate, which allows for breathtaking views of the Rocky Mountains, the city of Fort Collins, and the surrounding plains. On a more human scale, a river promenade with radiating paths allows visitors to experience the new riparian zone and wetlands. Various plazas, water features, and observation knolls provide a plethora of opportunity for adventure, relaxation, or both. The jury wishes to honor each of these students for their fine work. Their work will be on display during the reception after the award ceremony, so be sure to check them out. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations for your creativity and hard work. We hope you'll stick around after graduating. Who knows, maybe you'll, like Craig, walk up the aisle again to receive an award for your future professional work. Accepting awards this evening are Nick Acito, Carissa DeMoore, Tina Moore, Monica Schwartz, and Adam Schrammek. The Green Design category recognizes a built project that protects and enhances the natural environment. Winners address significant environmental challenges with designs that integrate architecture, technology, sustainability, and natural systems. The Burr Oak Design Center gets our first award in the Green Design category. Architect John Dengler and Bruce Hendy envisioned an office building for both of their firms, which would illustrate how sustainable design can be contemporary, artful, and beautiful. The result is a LEED certified building that is a celebration of nature and architecture, but that is as much a statement on design as it is on green. The distinct character has been described by John as Colorado natural contemporary design with Asian overtones. The building and site incorporate the latest in green technologies with use of locally harvested and recycled materials, low VOC finishes, high-efficiency mechanical and electrical systems, and water-saving planting design and stormwater technologies. This Class A contemporary office space sets the pace for commercial design that is every bit as beautiful as it is wise. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on a marriage made in heaven. John Dengler and Bruce Hendy will accept the award this evening.
Thank you very much. I just want to say we're very honored to receive this award at this really fine program here tonight. I'd just like to say ours was a very unique collaboration with a very unique synergy to it. You take an architect firm, you take a landscape architect firm, and their goal is to design a building with a really nice space for their employees, where the employees will be happy. We want it to be a showpiece to our clients of how green can be beautiful and to profess something we really believe in. And then you throw in a monkey wrench, and we're going to be the developers too. So we have very limited financial resources. We've got a budget to hit. So you put all that together, and I think it's probably amazing that we were even able to get this project off the ground, but we did, and we're very, very proud of it. And I know Bruce has a few words to say.
Well, being in the role of developer certainly gives me a whole new appreciation of people that develop buildings. So the pain of bringing things in within budget is certainly a challenge. But, you know, I think our goal, seriously, was to create a great place for people, just like John said, and also to create a place where we could bring clients and show them that appearance, appearance and performance can go together in a way that really is meaningful and good for the environment. So we enjoy the building, and thank you all very much.
In addition to being a handsomely designed project, which was also nominated in architecture and civic improvement, this project had a startling array of constraints to work through. The site had an existing, outdated community center on it, which needed to stay operational until the new center opened. The The site was also formerly a city dump, so it was considered a brownfield site. Despite these hurdles, the project recently received Gold LEED rating. Before construction of the new building, workers built an underground diversion wall to prevent contaminated substances from flowing into the river. The site includes groundwater control wells and sump pumps to keep contaminants from moving around the wall into the river. Water retrieved by the pumps is treated in an on-site filtration system. Noteworthy achievements of the project include outdoor water savings of 52% through the use of native plant species and high-efficiency watering systems, indoor water savings of 44% through efficient plumbing fixtures, energy savings of 31% through efficient building shell technology, HVAC, and lighting systems, diversion of 95% of construction wastes from the landfill to recycling, reuse, or salvage, and 17% recycled materials used, and 27% regionally derived materials. When you think about the size and scope of this project, those are really impressive results. For example, the energy savings alone will spare the community $20,000 per year. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on another fine collaboration project which will serve and save our community so well. Dave Lingle will accept the award this evening.
I would like to thank the City of Fort Collins again, not only for this presentation this evening, but also for being one of our great clients. I know Gene Helberg and Steve Budner are here. Steve was here. I don't know if Steve Seefeld is here representing Operation Services tonight or not, but he helped us a great deal. This was a large collaborative project, and I think Ann talked about a lot of the features. I think the most significant thing we had to overcome was the brownfields designation and the landfill, and thankfully Fort Collins doesn't have very many sites like that, and now we have one less. But it was a great project, and we enjoyed ourselves immensely working with the city, and thank you very much.
Merton Incorporated, a design-build firm specializing in green architecture and sustainable construction, bought 12 lots in the Old Town North subdivision and built our next winner in the green design category. Merton has made an impressive introductory statement with this Tuscan-inspired 3,000 square foot straw bale home, which juxtaposes old world charm with new world performance. The home exudes a reserved, unassuming elegance full of texture and light. Its tranquil appearance belies the high-tech wonders that make it so. Roof tiles were reclaimed from a decommissioned Yellowstone lodge. A 2.2 kilowatt photovoltaic solar electric system collects the sun's energy through roof-mounted panels. All walls are finished in non-toxic, natural earthen plasters. Beetle kill pine is utilized in numerous ways throughout the house. Straw bale wall construction plus soy-based foam in the ceilings allows the building to boast an insulation value of R72. This kind of insulation obviates the need for any mechanical cooling in the house and preserves the serene quiet inside. Its immense thermal massing paired with triple-paned windows and Rinnai instant hot water heater-powered radiant heating mean no need for ducts, and the result is an ultra-peaceful, low-allergen home. A walk through this house reminded a Boulder Green Building Journal writer what's possible when the responsible use of natural resources is paired with high-performance technology and unbound human imagination. We couldn't have said it any better. On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, congratulations on a very successful Fort Collins First. We look forward to many more. And Donna Merton will accept the award this evening.
I feel very honored to be part of this group, and I really want to thank the City of Fort Collins for not thinking we were absolutely nuts to begin with, and particularly the building department for being so supportive with this out-of-the-box thinking. We basically took the concept of sustainable building, pushed the envelope on it, and then said, well, whatever you know about construction, scrap it, and we're going to start over from the beginning. And I just want to thank everybody again. Thank you.
So I was sitting here thinking through all these presentations and thought, I get to travel all around the country visiting different cities. And I can tell you how many cities would love to have one of these projects, just one in their city. And what an incredible display of great work. And I'm just really, it's a real privilege to do this job in this town. It's incredible, the work that you all have done. The private commitment that you see here is literally millions of dollars of private investment, people investing in this community and in us as citizens. And I will tell you that if any of you are wondering, I mentioned Joe and I were on the jury. When it came to city projects, we didn't vote. But I will tell you that what I was thinking about here is that I hope that you see that we're using your tax dollars very, very wisely, and again, furthering the investments in this community to make yours a lot better off as investments as well. And last year was a big year for the city in terms of Spring Canyon Park, the Northside Center, the police building. Most of those facilities have been planned for 10, 20, 30 years in one case. One case, when I first started working here 12 years ago, I had a police officer that said 25 years ago we were planning for a new police building. 25 years ago, that was 12 years ago, he said. So 30 plus years we've been planning that. But let me say on behalf of the mayor and I both, and these are going to be my closing comments. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff, and then the mayor's going to say some things, so I don't get to come back up here. But I thank you so much for you creating an environment where this city can do the kinds of projects as well, and to partner with Arts and Public Places, and to partner with the Utilities Program and Parks and Recreation and Operation Services, on and on and on. As professionals in the city, that gives us goosebumps. That's why we have such a great staff in the city, is because of projects like this and being able to work with very innovative and creative people like you. So thanks for that very much. Let me say that I get to introduce Jeff Scheich. Jeff is our new planning, why don't you come on up, Jeff, our new Planning and Development Transportation Director. You may recall we went through a reorganization about a year ago or so, where we merged transportation and planning functions. This guy has a very important job in the city. If you have traffic problems, no, just kidding. Bus problems, planning problems, all those kinds of things. But Jeff, it's a privilege to introduce you to this group, and thanks for the great work that you're doing.
Thanks, Darren, and thank you very much for that warm reception. And it is a privilege for me to be here tonight to introduce our Hall of Fame award. And our award this year is to Montezuma Fuller, who was born on September 13th, 1858, to Elijah Leonard Fuller and Eliza Ann Fuller. He was born in Nova Scotia and was raised there in a large family. He served triumphantly as he was to become a tall and stalwart man around 6 feet, 5 inches, and weighing around 200 pounds. This is a big guy. Fuller worked as a ship's carpenter in Nova Scotia until he was about 21 or 22, at which time he decided to move to Colorado. He settled in Fort Collins in April of 1880, and at that time the frontier town was officially only 20 years old and boasted a population of 2,000 people. In 1880, the local Colorado Agricultural College, which would later be known as Colorado State, had just opened and began registration for the fall semester. Fuller decided to get acquainted with the university and enrolled as a student, and soon also got acclimated into the community by marrying a local girl, Anna Eliza Graham. His wife Anna bore 8 children in less than 15 years. They had a busy house. Caused by either a stroke or a heart attack, Anna passed away on June 14, 1902, at the comparatively young age of 42. Montezuma was left to raise their 3 boys and 4 girls, ranging in age from 6 to 19, on his own until he remarried in 1912. Fuller disciplined himself in architecture, received an architectural license in 1910. The first documentation of work produced by Fuller appeared in April 5, 1883 issue of the Fort Collins Courier, which stated he engaged in remodeling the college barn into a lab and scientific classroom. and wrought a wonderful change in both the outside and inside the building. This building is now the Printing and Publications Building on the CSU Campus Oval. Other than drafting the plans for a campus depot in 1892, this is the only building Montezuma worked on for the college. And even though Fuller's architectural and constructional endeavors had limited impact on the campus landscape, he did enroll as a student in the fall of 1883. During the mid-1890s, Fuller was hired by the well-known businessman C.B. Andrews to complete his residence at 202 Remington Street, now home to St. Peter's Fly Shop. At $10,000, it was considered more costly than any other residences Fuller would work on for many years. Things have changed a little bit. Between 1894 and 1895, Fuller designed and built the gingerbread house at 226 Magnolia for a cost of around $2,000, where he and his family would reside for many years. Although much of his time was consumed with residential construction during the 1890s, Fuller made commercial construction contributions to the downtown Fort Collins landscape. The most remarkable example of his commercial construction from this era is the Avery Block on the northeast corner of the College and Mountain intersection. Built in 1897, its fanciful stone lion greeted customers of Franklin Avery's new First National Bank. Built in 1901, Fuller designed this two-story wood frame residence at 300 South Howell Street for Peter Anderson. His design features a bell-cast hip roof with a heavy bracketed cornice and a two-story bay on the north wall. The house in many ways resembles a plan for a famous farmhouse which Fuller designed in early 1902 and entered into a competition in carpentry and building, a New York publication. The design won the second prize award of $60. That was a lot of money then. Many believe the Anderson house was the prototype for Fuller's entry. The home for Avery's son Edgar was built at 316 West Mountain in 1901, and the one for his sister-in-law was built at 402 West Mountain in 1903. In 1903, Montezuma designed at least 3 brick business blocks in the Trimble Court and adjacent Linden Street area. In that same year, he also designed a 2-story brick commercial building for the Trimble brothers at 132 North College and Fort Collins High School at 401 South Meldrum, which was eventually torn down to make room for today's Lincoln Center. His work amounted to $84,000 that year. Over 600 buildings make up the largest National Register district in Fort Collins. Located south of Fort Collins' downtown core, the district developed over a 60-year period from the mid-1870s into the 1930s. Also known as the Midtown Historic District, it is a good example of early community planning and also illustrates the social evolution of Fort Collins. The district takes its name from one of Fuller's most prominent buildings, the Laurel School, now known as Centennial High School. The Alpert Building at 140-142 South College Avenue retains an excellent physical integrity and is judged to be both architecturally and historically significant. It is a fine example of early 20th century commercial architecture in Fort Collins. It is also a noteworthy example of the commercial architecture design of Fort Collins' most notable architect, Montezuma Fuller. The Alpert Building was one of Fuller's final designs as a professional architect. You can see is that Montezuma Fuller lived a full life. Montezuma was, for some time, in great demand as Fort Collins' only architect and is accredited with designing over 100 buildings. The Alpert Building was built in 1925, just 2 years before his death in 1927 at the age of 82. Tonight, we would like to honor Montezuma Fuller, one of Fort Collins' most popular, prolific, and visionary architects. I am happy to announce this award will be displayed at the Montezuma Fuller House at 226 West Magnolia Street. Obviously, he will not be accepting the award in person.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I did come in a couple days early. I am here. And by the way, you can call me Monty. All of my friends call me Monty. You know, that's okay. My parents, they wanted some unusual name, and so, you know, they gave me the name of Montezuma. Does this really work? I'll hold it anyway. I really never did like that name, and I don't know that my parents liked it either because my second brother's name was Fred. So as I said, I came to town a couple days early to wander around. This town has grown from the 2,000 people that was here when I was here. Things have really changed. What is it now? 35, 40,000 people or something? You know, okay, it's changing a little bit. Also, I took some time to wander around downtown, and I have to say that I almost burst my buttons with pride when I saw the number of structures that I designed and worked on that are still standing in this community. It makes it a very interesting community to conserve things this way. I also saw the little house on Magnolia Street that I raised my 7 children in, and it's still standing and in quite good condition. New paint job, it needs a new roof, but I think that someone's working on that. That young couple that owned that really must be a fine couple. Yeah. When you get to stand up here, you get to say what you want to say. Anyway, you know, I want to thank you for this Hall of Fame award, even if it did come some 125 years after the fact. But I guess if you have patience, you might be rewarded for things. So hang in there. But truly, on behalf of the Fuller family name, I want to thank the city for recognizing the work of Montezuma Fuller and the work that he's done for this city and also the surrounding northern Colorado. Thank you.
And now Mayor Hutchinson will say a few closing words.
It seems to me that the most awesome quality of humankind, the most admirable quality of humankind is the quest for excellence, that pursuit of excellence. And look at what we have seen as results of people with talents and the drive to pursue excellence tonight. Our hats are off to you and your contributions to Fort Collins. You have truly made this a very special place. It is a great city. Great night for you. Thank you all for coming. A great night for Fort Collins, and I look forward to the next one of these. Thank you very much.